And welcome back to another episode
The
of
first episode of the season.
Hot
And we're in
Takes.
person. Can you believe? Both of us next to each other in the same state.
We're
And the same city and the same apartment. Mine.
Emily is hosting a party for the premiere tonight. So I'm really excited for that. I came down to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was going to keep it a surprise, but he can't keep secrets. So it worked out great for me.
I'm going live in a couple hours with Idled Out, Peridium, and Adam from the Buffs to discuss 43. So, in order to not come off as redundant, I'm only going to ask Emily's opinion on 43, and then we're going to get into my season 42 or my 42 season rankings.
Yeah.
Since I just finished 42 seasons in 42 days. So, Emily, what are your thoughts on the upcoming season?
I'm really excited because I've been able to watch like some of like the preseason footage and like the little bits that they're showing, and it looks like they're going to use a drone this season. Did you see the footage?
No, I haven't seen much.
I hope that they aren't lying to me because it looks like there's a freaking drone, like where they're driving into like all the challenges and stuff.
You don't think that drone has just always been there and they're just showing it this time?
No, it looks so much cooler. It looks so much cooler. Okay, so I'm really excited about the footage. I think it's going to add a little bit more variety over to just like the overall like challenges. I think it'll make the challenges more entertaining for the viewer to watch. So I think that's pretty cool. As we all know, I have a ranking system. You guys can't see it because I take it very seriously. And I don't want anyone to steal my ideas while everyone's fantasy leagues are out. But I do have some thoughts and some general predictions on who I think is going to be good and who I think is going to be just a straight up disaster.
So who's going to be a disaster?
Okay, well, I have 3 potential disasters. Again, no hate to these people. It's just how they're coming off on paper right now. First and foremost, we're going to say I'm a little bit nervous about Mike right now. I'm not going to lie. I think that just with the overall vibe of like the rest of the group of people, his lack of blendability might be an option. His social media though, he's bumping. Like there's a video of him walking on a tightrope wearing a bunny like hat. Did you see that?
I haven't seen anybody on social media.
Iconic. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong.
I mean, Zach is iconic on Twitter from last season.
He is. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Wow, look at the light. Okay. And my next one, I think Geo, it just kind of gives off chaotic energy.
Okay.
And then like if you're looking at like his tribe, like he's just so freaking tiny, and I think that in itself might be a big risk for challenges.
In season 43, you think that people are going to go off of that? They're going to go off of the small guy. We got to get rid of the small guy.
I think that at the start, it is there's a higher percentage focused on strength, and if you are it was so evident to me whenever I was looking at all the tribes that he was just like the smallest little thing that I've ever seen in my life. I also feel like he gives off a lot of chaotic energy. He apparently, I learned this today, that he lied in his literal interview saying that he was 25, but he's actually 36. And I feel like that in itself, like, why are you lying about that for people who...
Does he look?
He looks like he's 10.
Okay.
Like, all like holistically.
He looks like he's 10.
He looks like he's 10. And then this is just like an honorable disaster. I don't know if they're holistically going to be a disaster, but I'm a little bit concerned for Dwight, only because in his interview, he said that his pet peeve is when people call him Dwight from The Office immediately, and everyone's going to do that. And I feel like if he's rubbed the wrong way that way, that's already going to be a bad first impression.
He also has to, like, I would assume, because I did see that, I would assume that he would expect that and has trained himself to say, hey, people are probably going to say this. I have to keep that in check.
You'd hope so.
You would hope so. Yes, you're right.
I mean, he's also the one that has like the interview background too, right? So like my thought is like maybe he already has that composure that's already embedded. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. I'm just, you never know like how the elements are going to affect your ability to have self-control. 1 week
of pregame for me. I didn't know what any of these people were until like a couple days ago. So
yeah, I know everything. I've been studying because I did not participate as much in 42 and 42.
You participated enough. You were on for 3 episodes.
That's like barely anything.
You were the one that was on the most. So
yeah.
So,
oh really?
I think so. Maybe not. I don't know.
So
on the other end of things, who are some of the people that are really standing out to you as far as could go far or that's going to be good characters? And then obviously who's your winner?
Yeah, of course. So I think that I have these things called like power players. So if you guys I know it's kind of we're getting close to the wire here, but I highly recommend if you ever go to fantasysurvivorgame.com, you can make like a free fantasy league with all your friends. I do it every season. It's been very fun, very successful, low effort. So I'm doing that. So I ranked everyone from top to bottom using my numerical system. Just really proud of it. I worked really hard. Okay. Thank you. Can you be more proud of me?
I'm happy for you.
I don't believe you.
So who are the power players?
My number one in my mind is Owen. I people know him very well. Apparently, like people were able. Like I was listening to a few podcasts about some of these people, and Owen was. They talked about how he like came to like wearing like he like wore Christmas sweaters at a Christmas party, and he's like really thematic, and he's very personable. And someone else mentioned how they knew how he played. He was in rowing, you know, and that's a 20 or like a 12, not 24 hour. What am I saying? A 12-month sport, you know. So he's very physically active, and he's also very self-aware. He gives me like cozy vibes, like, you know, like my best friend.
He does.
Like, don't you want to be his best friend?
I mean, at first I thought that everyone was picking him because of the whole David vs. Goliath thing. But I think a lot more people are picking him because he just seems the most homey.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's similar to what Ricard was in 41, where everyone was just picking Ricard because he was the hot pick to have.
Right.
And it wasn't a bad one. He didn't win, but he'd made it far enough where it's like, okay, yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, and I think that like he said that he's nervous about this being his downfall, like that he might be compared a lot to Wu because they share a lot of similar attributes, like not just because like they have the same ethnicity, but like because of like their athleticism and, you know, like how they're very, very personable and those sorts of things.
Okay.
Like, so that was one of his concerns.
Interesting.
But you know, Wu made it to the end, and
Wu didn't make it to the end.
I also think that he's not going to win though. For that same reason, I think that because a lot of people are choosing him to be their winner pick, and I think if we're all noticing it as big fans, and this season is made of fans, and that's something that's going to kind of be a pushback, but he'll be very useful at least till the merge.
I think Owen will make it far enough. For like I said, I'm not going to give most of my opinions because I'm going live in a couple of hours with Peridium, Adam, and Idled Out, but stay tuned for that.
It's gonna be so good.
As far as winner, because you said that Owen, you know, as good as he is or potentially will be, he's not your winner. Who is your winner?
This is I'm nervous about it, but I'm gonna commit to it because I already had a vibe. I had it in my gut, and I'm just gonna rock with it. I am choosing Cassidy as my winner, which everyone, if you're not very familiar with who people are, you're gonna know her cast photo. Girl got her hair blown in the wind. She served.
I think Gia compared her cast photo to Jenny Kim's from last season.
Oh, 100%. Like she is stealing the show. So I liked her for a few reasons. I liked her EW interview. So I really kind of gripped onto that because you could tell that she was very, she thought this very, very clearly through. She's a yogi. Yogis tend to do very, very well. Namaste from a fellow yogi. They tend to do very, very well. They make it to the end because they're very good at, you know, just being very focused with their mind and like very centered and, you know, be able to push out all the negativity. But she also does boxing, which is telling me that she's going to be pretty physically involved. She compared herself to Kim Spradlin, which a lot
of people in their pre-gamers
and most people do. She's a very well liked winner, but I feel like if you connect with Kim, I think that's saying that you also recognize how important the relationship aspect is. So I think that's where she's going to hit the ground running first.
Okay.
So she's my winner pick. I'm nervous about it. I'm not going to lie to you because I feel like she could also be a first boot situation. I'm not sure, but I like her. So she's still a winner in my heart, and that's how I feel.
Okay. So hot takes will be happening hopefully every Monday.
Yeah, I think we're thinking Mondays.
So we are also going to be on Gia's podcast on Friday. I don't know when it'll go live, but we're filming it Friday. So stay tuned for all of that. Once again, you know, thank you everyone for the support and everything for 42 and 42. Emily, thank you. I was going through my head. And I think you may have tied with like a couple of other people as far as how many times you showed up with 3 times. I don't think I had anyone on more than 3 times. But this also is the time that I get to do my new rankings.
I'm so excited. I'm locked and loaded. I got a truly half full. I'm ready.
And I will say that much like the name of the show, there are going to be some hot takes on here, but I have reasonings for any that stand out to you as far as, and I'm just going to go down the list, and we can, go from there. But you can stop me at any point.
Okay. I need a starting. It's bothering me.
And then what I'll do is I will post the actual rankings in the description, I guess, so that people can see them. Starting with number 42 is Survivor Thailand. I'm not going to go into explanation because
it just wasn't a vibe. And I mean, like, who wants a used car salesman?
Used car salesman. 41 is Island of the Idols, which this time around, I tried to go in with every season thinking, okay, I know this bad thing's going to happen. Just kind of block it out of your head and see if you enjoy everything else. And I will say Island of the Idols had a great pre-merge and a great final tribal, and everything else is just uncomfortable. And for the longest time, Island of the Idols was my last ranked season, but I think because the pre-merge was so fun as compared to Thailand's where it's not, that's the only reason I moved it up. 40 is Redemption Island, because fuck that season. That was the first.
I'm gonna pause you on that. Okay, well, first of all, tell me why you hate it, so I can tell you why you're wrong.
It was the first season on this rewatch where I fell asleep and had to go back and rewatch episodes.
You know why?
I was bored out of my mind.
No, that's not why. Because it's a cozy season. That's why I like Redemption Island, because you know how we have. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no. Okay, so I will interrupt you actually. Okay, so I really like this season, especially because for me, we have those comfort shows or those little things where we already know that's going to happen. Boston Rob's wins incredulously predictable from the start, But for me, I really like it because it gives you a taste of a few returnees that there was a lot of backlash on, but you also get a bunch of new faces that tend to do really, really well, and we get to see a lot of them, like Andrea. I love watching Andrea's edit. And
me too. Name one other person that does well that season.
Philip comes back. Yeah,
that doesn't mean he does well. It means he comes back. It just means he comes back. That means nothing. Francesca came back.
I
like Francesca. I like Francesca.
She's a queen.
But you can't say that she did well because she didn't do well.
Actually, she holds a title, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
The least amount of days on an island for returning.
That's so cool.
Neither here nor there, but.
So after Redemption Island.
Well, after you were wrong, continue.
I have Caramoan. Once again, self-explanatory.
No, that's not self-explanatory. How dare you disrespect my boy Cocker like this?
Once again, just because a season has fun, I don't even consider Cochran to be fun on that season, but just because the season has good characters does not mean that the season has to be good.
Because Cochran's win was monumental for Survivor because it changed the archetype of what a winner can look like. What's the name of the guy that I don't like?
Sophie Clark won before him, and she definitely
she changed pieces of the archetype, but in what world can a little skinny dude end up being the ultimate survivor?
Todd Herzog in China. Todd Herzog in China.
Okay, but that hardly ever happens. You know what I mean? He was the
lone Todd didn't.
He didn't change it the same way. Okay, continue. Okay, I'm over you. Keep going.
Okay,
because you're wrong.
All right. So the next I had Worlds Apart, and I think the only reason I have it that high at 38 is because we had Mama Sion and I couldn't shit on the season like I had planned on doing before we got her. But I think that having her on probably raised it one spot.
I think it gives you more context too. I think that know, a lot of the seasons are based on how you edit it. You know what I mean? Yes. So I think that she adds that more personal perspective.
Yeah. I did appreciate the fact that she said they weren't asking them to continuously, because in Worlds Apart they kept saying, oh yeah, I'm a blue collar because of this. I'm a red collar, or no collar because of this. And she said they weren't pestering them to say that. They would just say that because this label had been put on them, so they felt they need to exude blue collar, no collar, white collar. Sense. So I did appreciate knowing that. From there, we've got Nicaragua, which I gained a new appreciation for. It's still not good, but I like Fabio, so...
I liked his winners at it.
Me too.
I know that's a very hot take.
It is, but I like.
It's giving Jenna Marasco.
Yes. I agree. From there, Ghost Island. Once again, I said this when we when we talked about Ghost Island in February, and I said it again during 42 and 42, where it's the Dom Wendell show, and it just drags forever because the twist doesn't really work. The cast is probably not the best, but
I think that the cast had a lot of potential, but I don't think that they were given the spotlight that they deserve.
Yes,
Does that make
I
sense?
really loved Kellen this time around.
Me too.
I
Kellen's a
loved
doll.
Kellen.
I love her.
She was my crush of Ghost Island.
I didn't know that.
35 is South Pacific. Once again, self-explanatory.
I don't even remember South
That's
Pacific.
just
I'm not
Redemption
gonna lie to
Island,
you.
the sequel. 34 is One World. I think that the Kim, Sabrina, Chelsea alliance, Chelsea, Alicia, Christina, all those people, that alliance is heavily underrated as far as an all-women's alliance is concerned, especially since all of them make four of the five of them make final five. And everyone likes to hype on this Kim Spradlin thing, but like Sabrina and Chelsea were no joke either. It's just Kim was better than them. So I had to gain a new appreciation for the season. I also really like Troy Zan this time around, and it sucked to see how much time he didn't get in Game Changers.
Can I ask you a question about that? What about Troy Zan? Like really? Like,
Troy Zan was one of like 3 people on the cast who actually knew how to play Survivor. It was like him, Kim, and Sabrina were the only ones that actually knew what they were doing. Everyone else was just
that's fair.
There. Troy Zan had a.
I had no idea why he was elected a game changer though. Like he didn't make any waves in my mind.
No, in One World he did. I still wouldn't have brought him back, but Troy Zan was probably the second best character in that season.
Okay.
At 33, we have Survivor All Stars.
I knew it. You Judas.
All Stars fell. It didn't fall the furthest, but it fell pretty far.
It fell? I thought you said it went up.
No, it didn't. That is a lie. If I told you that, it was a lie.
Well, I can't believe you're dead to me and you have to sleep outside today.
All Stars is so bad. And
you're so bad.
And I understand that, this the love story and all that, and that's cute and, whatever. But you start with the Sue thing, you get the Jenna thing, and the Jenna thing was somehow worse this time because I forgot how long they stayed on everyone basically calling her a piece of shit for quitting because I would have just told my wife not to die until I got back or whatever. Everyone's just saying all the stuff to her and she's like, I don't really care. My mom's actually dying, so I'm gonna go. Jeff say, oh yeah, would you guys have done this? That just sucks the air out of a lot of stuff because now I don't care about any of these people that have been saying all this bad stuff about her. Not they weren't actually saying about her, but they were saying it about her situation. From there, you have really no one you can root for except for Sheehan. The best episode of the season is the Sheehan immunity, and once she's gone, it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm rooting for Rupert. I guess I don't want to root for Rupert, but there we go. And then the final 2 is the most bitter tribal council ever. Not even final tribal, just the most bitter tribal council ever. And you feel bad for both the people sitting there because they're being attacked for things outside of the game.
It did definitely make it more personal, but I think that's also why I really like this season. I think that this season is don't even shake your head.
I didn't shake my head. I just smiled.
You aren't smiling in a nice way. I really like the season because this is kind of that point where Survivor was like life. Everyone was super, super invested in this show. It became like a huge cultural phenomenon. So those reactions, this is also the first time that all of these people are coming together from their former seasons where they already have these relationships. We've never seen that before. So that does really toe the line of what is personal and what's part of the game.
Yeah, 18 people were out there playing. 16 people were out there playing with their friends. 2 people were out there trying to win the game. And those 2 people sat at the end while, 6 other ones get pissed off. Well, the jury got pissed off because I actually feel like a lot of the pre-mergers probably wouldn't have been as pissed as the jury that we got. But I already mentioned that. I'm probably going to put this video in the 42 and 42 playlist as well as the hot takes playlist. At 32, it's Samoa. Everyone knows my opinion on people on that season, or a certain person on that season, and I love Natalie White, so take a wild guess. At 31, I have Guatemala, the forgotten season. They buried it, in my opinion, because they didn't want Stephanie to look like a villain when she played in Heroes vs. Villains. 30, Heroes. Healers, Hustlers.
That's like bottom of my list.
Which was a fun cast.
No, it was not.
I really enjoyed this cast this time around. I really enjoyed Dr. Mike, Devin, Joe, Chrissy. I even and I'm probably going to bring this up at the during the pregame panel that we have in a couple hours. I am not a Ben fan, but, and this is so funny, I compare Ben and Marianne because of one big thing. They both kept their fucking mouths shut about all the advantages and the idols that they had. Or, well, not all of them. Marianne kept her last idol quiet. Ben kept all of his idols and advantages quiet, and that's why he got to the end, because people kept thinking, oh, well, Ben doesn't have anything because everyone else has been showing their cards. Ben hasn't. Marianne didn't show that idol until Final Tribal, so that's my comparison. 29 Game Changers, once again. 28 Palau. Palau fell the most this time around. I found myself super bored during most of it. I
remember Palau. What?
Tom Westman. It was the Oolong. Oh, the Oolong season.
I have things to say about that. But go
ahead. There have been a lot of dumpster fire tribes, and especially this time around, a lot of the dumpster fire tribes I actually like. I enjoyed watching, for better or worse, I enjoyed watching. The Oolong tribe, I can, off the top of my head, I can name Stephanie, Bobby John, Angie, Ibrahim, James. I think that might, Jolanda, 6. Okay, so, but that's because I just did it. And then once the merge happens, it's just like, okay, well, it's Tom or Ian winning. It's probably going to be Tom. Let's just get through this. And, I didn't really have anyone that I could latch myself onto as far as the season was concerned. You said you had thoughts.
I have one thing that's permanently seared into my brain, and this is Kim's fault, actually.
Okay.
She told me, okay, so this was the death of the hand on the heart idol, right? Like
this was like the final season that they did
because it's like they were literally like bobbing up and down.
Baba Booey was the name of this.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's such a funny name, Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
Okay.
Okay, so the only thing that's like really seared into my brain is like, because they couldn't get off, they like peed themselves, and like there's pictures of them with like yellow shorts, and I just like with all the pee stains, and like I wish I could forget that, but I never will, and that's why it's low in my ranking.
Yeah, I want to see this.
I'll show it to you, but make sure we don't eat first.
27. Apologies to Gia. Is Survivor Fiji, which I love Survivor Fiji as far as winner, final 3, what it means for the skin folk and all that. But the final tribal just was super uncomfortable because it felt like they were being attacked because of reasons outside the game. And I just really did not like Rocky or Lacey at all. And those characters especially dragged the season down for me. But I enjoyed Dreams. I was
going to ask if you were a Dreams person. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I'm a Dreams person. I'm a Yaman person. Earl, Cassandra, all of them. Well, those 4 of them. But a lot of the rest of the people, it was just like, all right.
Yeah. And I think that the thematic element as well was like I don't know, like the haves and have-nots, like obviously the haves are going to do well, you know what I mean?
Which they did.
Which they did. Like, I mean, like, so to me, like that didn't make like a very captivating season. It was boring.
Yeah, let's watch all these people on Ravu just die, basically.
Exactly.
26 is Survivor Gabon, which is just a huge dumpster fire, but like in the fun way.
Above All Stars?
Yes, absolutely above All Stars.
God.
It's so like none of these. It's clear that none of these people know how to play, but it's fun, and that's how we get such a final tribal, final 3 that we do. And I really enjoyed watching Gabon, and it's the first season in HD. So
I will say that Sugar, I'm just so sad about how Sugar kind of dropped the ball in Final Tribal, because I really enjoyed watching her growth that whole season. She had a really cool edit, and then like it just kind of fell flat, and then like obviously
almost came off like she was trying to lose.
Yeah, right. Like, well, I think that she got really pissed off at what Corinne was saying. That was kind of over. Was she last?
Yeah. At 25 of Survivor 41. We've talked enough about Survivor 41 on here. We don't have to go farther, but Survivor 41, number 25. 24, Africa. 23, Edge of Extinction.
What?
So, the cast, amazing. Especially obviously Rick Devens. But I really enjoyed Victoria. I really enjoyed
Victoria's cool.
I really enjoyed Gavin this time around. I really enjoyed Chris when he got back into the game. Pre-merge, I wasn't the biggest fan. Chris was just kind of a guy. When he got back into the game, I did really appreciate him. I appreciated 2 of the 4 returnees, David and Kelly. Joe and his infinite wisdom. This time, Joe loses by getting to the merge in numbers and
Didn't he pass out? Is that
no? That was Cambodia.
Okay.
Joe gets the merge with basically his entire OG tribe still intact, and instead of just going after the other tribe first, they just vote him out because we don't want Joe here.
Right.
Joe's everyone knows how I feel about Joe as well. So, but also just I really liked Chris's story arc when he got back into the game. He read the room, realized, okay, I need to beat Rick to do this. He beats Rick to do this. He goes to the end, and he gets a large majority of the final votes. I mean, enough to win, but also just a large majority of the final vote. I know that people hate the twist. I hate the twist, but I wish people would go back and watch this season and give it a chance because the cast is very fun. The storylines are very fun. Watching Rick mess with people and just plant all these fake idols is very fun.
His hero arc was really inspiring, especially because he was one of the first ones whacked, right? And then he came back, and I think that really put a little fire underneath him. And and he's now one of my favorite people. Every time anyone does an interview with him, I jump into it because I just think he's so funny and so interesting.
Yes, and I think it's the accent too for me.
Yeah.
At 22, I know Cindy and Sarah will be happy with this. I have Survivor China.
Really? I didn't realize it'd be that low for you.
Yeah, it's fine. China's fine. I don't honestly. There's only 2 seasons. 2 seasons that I don't like. It's Island of the Idols in Thailand, but so China's fine. I think James is heavily overrated in the eyes of Survivor fans. People need to actually go and watch James seasons to realize that he's not actually good.
Right.
It's not even like he's some great challenge piece because he's never won individual immunity, and his OG tribes don't tend to do amazing. They win and they lose, but he's not Joe, where Joe's OG tribes are usually always winning. For 21 is Marquesas for obvious reasons.
What reasons?
Vesepia.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna say Boston Rob too, and I was want to know what the other plural reasons were.
No. 20 is Panama. I think that the Kasaya tribe is one of the most chaotic tribes that's ever existed, but they have such great personalities. It's the birth of Surreal in the show. I don't like Terry, so it's fun to see Terry lose. I know that Jeff has called Aris a boring winner. Whatever. I enjoyed Aris and Terry's rivalry.
I think he was fine. I enjoyed. I rooted for him the whole time. I was excited to see him win.
I think Danielle, the only reason she's a villain Here's Versus Villains is because she voted out Terry, and America hated her for that. But I don't know. I really like Danielle too. I like Danielle as well.
Her breakdown was so relatable in Heroes versus Villains.
Yes, because Russell Hanson is kind of
yeah.
Anyway, 19 is Kaoh Rong. 18 Millennials versus Gen X.
That's high for. Well, I mean, I know why it's high for you, but that surprises me. That's a boring season in my mind.
G agrees with you. The only reason I have it that low, I guess for me, is all the minorities go out pre-merge.
That's fair.
17, San Juan del Sur, which once again you can kind of tell who wanted to be on the show and who was the recruiters to be on the show. But similar to Gabon, I think that adds to a lot of the chaos that happens during the season. And Jeremy, when he comes back for second chances, he talks about how he feels like the reason he went home so early in San Juan del Sur is because he was playing with people that are chaotic and don't really understand the game as compared to Cambodia, where he's playing with people that he could actually strategize with and it actually makes sense. Ironically, Keith was there for both and made it far in both. 16 Philippines, just a fun season. Philippines is just fun.
Who won Philippines? Why don't
Denise?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good season.
It's hard, obviously with Michael Scoopin being in the final 3, but whatever.
I mean,
I really like.
People kind of saw past that, I think, which is also good that he wasn't the winner. You know?
Oh my goodness, could you
imagine?
But I really like Lisa this time around. I really enjoyed her story arc, her allowing herself to play the game. She even says that. So I really do. 15 is Australia. It just has a big spot in my life as far as what I do for a living. So Australia will always be high. 14 Borneo. 13 Tocantins. Sorry, Adam.
I like Tocantins. Why are you apologizing to Adam?
That's his favorite season.
Really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
13 Tocantins. 12 Survivor 42. Yeah. 42 is, it came home.
Oh, we love that season.
11 Cook Islands. Race Wars. Looking past that, the I-24 thing is just gold.
And the cast was like,
the cast is
brilliant.
Yeah, and
it brought in a lot of returnees, and I appreciated
it was
that.
Candace's first time, and everyone knows how I feel about Candace, the game player. So that's all I have to say about that. Number 10, the season that moved up the highest, Survivor Vanuatu. If you guys have not watched Banawatu in a while, you absolutely should. It's an amazing season, period. Like, beginning to end. Chris is probably one of my favorite winners of all time. He's also probably one of my favorite narrators of all time. But Twyla, I really love Twyla this season. You feel horrible for her at that final tribal because people are attacking her. And she has that Mike Turner moment of, like, realizing all these people actually don't like me. They feel like I'm doing this. So I really liked Twyla. I really liked a large part of this cast. Amy, Leanne, none of the pre-merge men because I can't remember any of their names. If you have not rewatched Banawatu, you need to. Number 9, Survivor the Amazon. Rob Sesternino is my favorite non-winner. That's not Suri. Number 8, Winners at War, which I feel like every time I do this is going to continue to drop down the list because the final couple episodes, once Jeremy, Kim, and Sophie are gone, it's just like I really don't care at this point.
Yeah, and it was like a very, very disappointing season, especially because this is the first time that a lot of like OG winners came back and they just got whacked back. Like I remember tweeting about that. That's one of the first times that you and I reconnected too. It's like, oh my god, like it was just terrible, When
I did 40 and 40, I think Winners at War was number 3, and it's already down to number 8.
Wow. So, okay. Interesting.
So when I do 50 and 50, we'll see.
Are you actually gonna?
I'm gonna do 50 and 50. That's still a couple years off though. So number 7, Pearl Islands, just a very solid season.
I love the concept too, like because we never really get to see these people like interacting with people like on their homeland, and I thought that like just like that like negotiation piece was so and watching Sandra speak Spanish. Oh my gosh,
my favorite I'll ever have of Rupert is the first episode because from there the Rupert fatigue, especially this time around, just kicked in very fast.
He's a little soft.
Is he? He's not. He's
not. I think in the first season he was a little softy. I think the seasons after that we've already talked.
He threatened to kill John. Number 6, which I realized this time around is my ultimate comfort season. The season I can sit down and just watch any day and just not be tired of it. Is Blood versus Water. I really,
that's a good season.
I think from top to bottom the cast is very good. Maybe not Colton, but I really enjoyed Tyson's story arc. I really enjoyed Sierra 1.0. I think that Monica Culpepper is heavily underrated.
Her exit, like with the final tribal, was like, oh my gosh,
you felt for her because
your heartstrings,
These people are tearing into her like she's like a shitbag, and she really wasn't. I really like Monica. Number 5, Cagayan. Self-explanatory. Number 4, sorry, John Buckley, this is not number 1 for me. Micronesia, which, it is. 3, which has dropped 1 spot, Cambodia. 2, David versus Goliath.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And 1, Heroes vs. Villains stuff.
Yay!
So, like I said, I'm going to post those in probably this description. But no, I was glad to be done. It's been almost 2 weeks since I finished, and I don't miss it.
And now we're going to get right back into it.
And now I'm going to get right back into 40 or 43, and I'm just really excited to see how the season plays out. If it's going to capitalize on the momentum that 42 has, or is it going to, drop the ball? I'm interested to see what these twists are going to be about. And
I'm
I'm
excited
excited to
that
see.
we won't see Do or Die again.
I'm
right?
excited for that. I'm excited how the people online take it because their opinions matter. And I'm excited to be discussing this with you again.
I missed you so much. Did you miss me?
Sure.
Did you cry about it?
No.
Fine.
I'm wearing my Wonders at War caricature shirt.
I'm wearing a buff that I bought on Amazon.
That's the merch buff for
for 42. I was gonna get a one of the blue one, but the blue tread didn't do well. So.
I feel like from this angle, it looked like I was just like.
You are welcome.
But we will see you all Monday for our first recap of the 43 premiere.
Oh, we're so excited. I'm so happy to be back.
I am too.
I cried about it all summer.
And I didn't. But thank you all for continuing to tune in, and we will see you all on the other side.
Bye.
Bye.